What's up, all you Instacart shoppers out there? Chatty Gig Economist back again with their Instacart rant video. This is actually old news by now, so you probably know that as of yesterday, Instacart eliminated the $3 quality bonus. In fact, let's read Instacart's announcement. Over the last several years, we've experimented with numerous versions of the quality bonus in addition to other boosts and incentives. During the last year, we offered a new version of the quality bonus and found that it did not meaningfully improve quality. As a result, we will no longer be offering the quality bonus beginning next week. We value the quality of service shoppers provide and will continue exploring ways to recognize shoppers who deliver a high quality experience for our customers. It's important to note that this change will not impact the earning structure and minimums we committed to earlier this year. As always, customer tips remain separate from, in addition to payment from Instacart going directly to you to recognize a great customer experience. We are grateful for the shopper community and thank you, as always, for your dedication as an Instacart shopper. If you have any questions about these changes, visit the Help Center. Yeah. All right, so wow, just wow. Just when I think Instacart couldn't get any stingier, they somehow managed to pinch those pennies even harder. All right, so let's analyze this announcement. First, they mentioned that they've experimented with boosts and incentives. First of all, that's a poor way of phrasing it. If there's a pilot program, that's usually limited to a trial group or area. When you make a perk available to everyone nationwide, that's not an experiment. That's just part of the pay structure. Second of all, they mentioned other boosts and incentives. What they didn't mention is they got rid of all those too. Up until last year, if you were ranked among the top shoppers in your zone for the week, you would get a $100 cash bonus. But that was scrapped about a year ago and replaced with the $3 quality bonus you'd get for every 5-star rating on full service orders. In the second paragraph, they say the quality bonus did not meaningfully improve quality. Yeah, I'm waving a BS flag on that. Think about it. Most of the shoppers from the early years are no longer with Instacart today. I wasn't around for those $100 weekly bonuses, so the $3 quality bonus is all I know, which is probably true for the vast majority of shoppers who work for Instacart in 2019. So that little $3 bonus absolutely incentivizes us to do a good job. I mean, look at my library of Instacart videos. Not only are they there to make this job easier and more efficient, they also exist to better please your customers and thus make more money with those quality bonuses. But since they're taking away the financial incentive to do this job, why in the world should I bust my balls doing this job anymore? Just so that the customers don't retract their tips? That is a terrible way to incentivize people. Talk about dangling a carrot, Instacart. In fact, I've already started working less hard than I normally do. You remember my video about the messages you should send to your customers? I don't even send those anymore. They're a waste of time at this point. In fact, there's some other things I've been doing to cut corners that I've never would have done before, but I'm not going to say what they are. Let's just say that I'm working to not get my tip removed. I really don't care what the customers rate me anymore, since ratings are essentially meaningless, just as long as my rating doesn't drop so low that I risk being fired. And if anyone at Instacart is watching, my lack of effort is a direct result of you taking away the quality bonus. I'd imagine tens of thousands of other shoppers out there feel the exact same way. At this point, we're just working to keep our tips and not get fired. If you want 5-star white glove premium service, you need to pay us a lot more than you are. All right, so back to the announcement. The second paragraph ends saying they're going to continue to explore ways to recognize shoppers who do a good job. That sounds like they're just going to give us a gold star and put our picture up on the wall. What are we, in 3rd grade? I can't pay bills with recognition. Now, perhaps Instacart will come up with a way of recognizing top shoppers financially, but if that's their long-term plan, why not announce what the plan will be now? If there is another financial incentive program in place, why not roll straight into it? At least when they ditched the $100 weekly bonus, they went directly to the $3 quality bonus. The fact they're not saying what the new program will be, I believe, means there is no replacement bonus program. The third paragraph mentions something about this change not impacting the earning structure, which is technically true. The batch minimum and the mileage compensation rates aren't changing, at least not yet. But anyway, slice it, we're taking a pay cut. In my case, the quality bonus accounts for about 10% of the money I make through Instacart. So yes, I can technically afford to make 10% less money, but I shouldn't have to. They also mentioned something about how we still keep all of our tips. Thanks for reminding us of how you used to skim our tips there, Instacart. But that's not something they should even have to reiterate. I think the reason they're saying this is because tips are on the verge of becoming our primary revenue metric. Look at this graph of the 5 pay metrics over the course of 2019. You can see that the batch incentive is usually the highest metric, but in the last few weeks, tips are accounting for almost half of my total earnings. Now that the quality bonus is going away, I'd expect that trend to continue. You might also notice that I haven't received a peak boost on any of my batches in almost a month. I think that's yet another form of a pay cut Instacart secretly instituted. These days, I only see peak boosts on batches in the on-demand queue, which is usually empty whenever I check it, by the way. Let me know if Instacart cut out peak boosts in your zone too. So, of course, the conclusion a lot of people are jumping to is that the elimination of the quality bonus is a direct retaliation for the strike a lot of shoppers participated in November 3rd through the 5th. They made this announcement only 2 days after the strike ended, so that's quite a coincidence. I'm not sure if I believe this is a case of causation, but probably correlation. I find it difficult to believe this was a decision they made lightly or over the course of just a few days. I believe they had this decision in place a while ago and decided to drop this bomb right after the strike ended as a way of saying they're done negotiating with us shoppers. This is really surprising because, according to the articles I've read, almost every previous strike was successful in getting Instacart to do something in the shopper's best interests. Getting rid of the quality bonus is a complete 180. To me, it's a proverbial middle finger. A few weeks ago, I made a video called "Is the Gig Economy Imploding?" in which I listed all the bad trends that have been happening throughout 2019. So many of these gig corporations aren't actually profitable, and now a lot of them are becoming publicly traded companies. They have to become profitable by any means necessary. Cutting their contractors' pay and perks is one of the biggest things they can do to save money. I'm actually going back to college for a 1-year cybersecurity program, so I might stick with the gig jobs until I graduate, or I might try to get a day job now since I really can't make a living working for Instacart full-time anymore. I'll be on the clock for 9 or 10 hours a day, but still only work 4 or 5 batches and make less than $100. Fortunately, I got my early access back on DoorDash, and I'm actually making more with them than I am with Instacart. If you want to be a full-time gig economist like me, I highly recommend you multi-app all the time. Instacart just isn't a reliable full-time job anymore, or a part-time job anymore, I should add. All right, so I've rambled for a long time, so I'll end this now. As always, if you watch all the way to the end, you are awesome. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.